Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Danielle. I'm an American expat living in Germany, and today we are going to do another cultural video. I have been seeing this video go around from expats living in Germany. So 11 things that might happen to you if you move to or even visit Germany. Actually, I've already looked through a few of these, and it's pretty much a guarantee that even if you're just visiting Germany, you will probably encounter a few of these things. So number one, you will get weird looks for smiling in public. Yep, that's for sure one of the first things that I noticed when I moved to Germany. I feel like when you make eye contact with someone, it's just polite to smile. That's just my American culture, but in Germany, they're just not used to that. Like, eye contact is more than enough interaction if you happen to pass somebody on the street. 2, you will start pronouncing your W's like V's. Yes, I do things like this from time to time. I've also noticed when I write, for example, somebody told me on my culture shock video that I typed shock S-C-H instead of S-H. There are just some things that get instilled in you when you learn a new language, and I have definitely noticed that I just pronounce certain words, especially words that I maybe would not have used in my English language, like when I was living in America. For example, sauna, I say sauna, but most Americans would say sauna. You just start pronouncing things kind of weird and random, and then people wonder if you're starting to get like an accent or if you're trying to fake an accent. It's just that when you live in a certain place for a certain amount of time, some people just start to adapt to that way of talking, and sometimes you make mistakes. So in Germany, W's are pronounced not W, but V. There are also a lot of German cities that start with W. Like a lot of Americans would call like Würzburg, they would say Würzburg or something like that. Or Wurst is actually Wurst. So yeah, just when you start learning a new language, you start kind of getting confused, and sometimes things just pop out that you didn't mean to pop out. Number 3 is you will like to bike. Or no, you will buy a bike. Yeah, so I definitely, when I even just came here for like a long-term summer holiday to stay with my husband, he was really sure that I would have a bike. Number 4, you'll discover that underground parties are the best. I don't really know what they mean by this one. I'm not much of a party person, particularly if you're moving to a smaller city. You may be initially disappointed with the nightlife. As you make German friends, however, you'll start hearing about unofficially advertised parties happening after hours at bars, warehouses, and abandoned train stations. I have no idea. I'm not a party person, so I will say that the German nightlife is very, very sleepy. Even in, like, we used to actually live above a bar, and that was like the only place in like a really large radius where there was like actually some nightlife going on. Of course, the place where we happen to live, but we had really cheap rent therefore. Number 5, you will travel more. 110% yes. I definitely did not do a lot of traveling when I lived in America, but I did live in America a lot of my adult life. But I think like it just feels as though you're traveling more because like, yeah, going state to state is like super exciting and new, but at the same time, like it's not as new as like traveling from country to country in Europe. Like we did like a big road trip on like the west, and it just didn't really feel like, you know, the culture is always kind of generally speaking really similar. Being located right in the center of Europe definitely has its perks, and we have very different cultures around us. Like you go down to Italy, it's just a completely different vibe. Spain, France, it's just very different and diverse when you start making your travels. I just definitely feel like I'm more into travel, and I always want to be doing it, and right now I'm actually feeling really down knowing that all of the European borders are closed. And it just feels really sad and enclosing to be like located right in the heart of Europe but not be able to go anywhere. Number 6, you will get used to having beer at lunch. I hate beer. Like honestly, I hate any alcoholic drink, and beer is actually kind of tolerable, but no, that would never be me. 7, you'll get comfortable with smoking. No, never. Some things never change. Maybe I sound a bit like, I don't know, goody two-shoe, but no, smoking and drinking are always just something that's just never been my thing. I have actually quite a large prejudice against people who don't have proper smoking etiquette, to be completely frank with you. I have sat on a bus stop like heavily pregnant before in Germany, and a smoker would seriously come sit right next to me. like heavily pregnant, and of course I told them off. I wouldn't even say this is just a German thing, like this is just a European thing, and luckily in Germany they have started disallowing smoking in restaurants. Like when I first came to visit back in like 2008, I remember when I arrived at the airport, I went to go and ask how to get out of the airport to a waiter, and he literally just blew smoke like right in my face, and like everybody in the restaurant, not everybody, but a huge amount of people in the restaurant were smoking, and it was just so intense. It was like a big, like, it was just so toxic. Like I was just like, how are people even having a good time in here? And I'm just so glad that that law was changed. And no, I will probably always remain a bit of a smoking police. Number 8, you will become a neurotic recycler. Well, I definitely do recycle, and I know how to recycle. I guess it's just kind of like natural and instinctive at this point. Like I just don't see why you wouldn't take the time. You know what I mean? So I guess it is kind of a neurotic thing. It's just like, just do it. You'll lose your reliance on fancy appliances. German apartments are streamlined, efficient, and meticulously clean. They also typically lack some American staples like dryers, dishwashers, garbage disposals, and window screens. Many apartments also have a large bathtub with handheld shower heads. Yeah, that's kind of true, actually. Okay, yeah, so we still don't have a dryer. We haven't had a dryer since we moved to Germany. We hang dry everything, and that's kind of why cloth diapering didn't work for us. Like, yeah, a lot of places don't come with dryers, and it's kind of okay in this place because we have a lot of hanging space, but we've never had a dryer. I think this is the first place we've moved to where we've had a dishwasher. Germans are very handy individuals. They usually just take responsibility for whenever they start to feel uncomfortable, they just fix it themselves. Like, nobody really thinks ahead and like installs all these things into your apartments. I've always had super tiny fridges as well, even in this big place that we live in now, I've noticed too. So yeah, I would have to say Germans are definitely a lot less dependent on appliances. Also, there's no air conditioning or anything here, so, which I don't really mind because it doesn't really get that hot to me since I'm from California. Number 10, you will quickly learn how to convey your need for food and beer in German. What does it say here? Ich möchte etwas essen. Trinken will be one. I just did that thing that they said that you do with your W's. Like, I just said will instead of will. See, it happens. Anyways, will be one of your first phrases you learn. Yeah, I guess, but I didn't say it like that. I just said ich habe Hunger. I think that was like one of the first phrases I ever used on a pretty regular basis. 11, you'll learn to both take and dish out the German stare. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this one's hilarious. The German stare. This is real, guys. Like, I don't mean to be rude when I talk about this, but like, what's up with the stare? I really want to know. Let me know what it is in the comments. I don't know if it's just that Germans are very curious, but like in America, and I think in a lot of other places in the world, we've kind of learned as a child that it's impolite to stare. But I don't think that Germans have really got that kind of life lesson when they were growing up, because not all will do this, but I have had this happen to me a lot, and I've had family members talk about this too. As a matter of fact, like, even in America, like if you're staring at somebody, it's almost even considered like you're challenging them, or like you think they're doing something wrong, or that they have something on their face, or like you're being rude, like you're deliberately looking at them because you dislike something that they're doing. Whereas in Germany, it's like I think it's just a general curiosity thing, and they don't really know that makes people feel uncomfortable. But like this isn't even like a male thing, like looking at women. Like, you will go into like the subway, for example, and there will be a girl, like even just like a young woman who is German, and she will do this thing, like look you up and down, and she'll do it again, even like not even just one time, and I'll just be like, okay, and then they'll just continue to stare. Why do you guys do this? Is it just like you're trying to get my whole life story by like looking me up and down a couple of times? You do learn to dish it out too in the end. Like, there have been times where I have felt challenged by people, and if they really are staring at me and like they won't stop, like I'll stare back at them and be like, what do you want? But what I've learned through doing that is that they don't really mean to be rude. They are just looking for the sake of looking. They're just being curious, I guess. But like, they usually stop looking after that, and I think they get confused why you're upset. I don't know what it is. Germans like to stare. Sometimes it's in a friendly way, and like sometimes too, like I'll be at the gym even, and there will be like older women who do it, and I think that they're staring at me for like a judgmental reason, and then they will just say something really nice, and they'll just like, you know, crack a conversation eventually. I don't know what it is. It's just like a thing that they do here. They just stare, and I don't think that they necessarily mean it to be in a judgmental or in a challenging way, even though it may seem like it to a foreigner. I think that they just do it because they're curious, and they've never been told staring's not polite. I really enjoy making these cultural videos. I like to make them at least once a week. So if you are interested in those kinds of things, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Is there anything else that you think that was missed that will happen to you if you go to Germany? I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this freakishly warm April day, and I will see you next time. Bye!